Sounds like Guild Wars in here. Yeah. Level 5. So we're on level 3, so we gotta go up. This is from behind us.
Yeah, the coffee.
Oh wow, looks like a check-in.
Oh wow, that's nice.
I think so too. This is the All Blacks experience. That's their rugby team. Wow. Cool. We're gonna go one more up. Let's go. Weta Workshop. Yeah, I'm gonna take a walk this way.
Lots of all of the movies and stuff.
So cool. That's the casino. That way's the casino.
Look at those.
And oh yeah, that's one.
Creative leakage. Really personal.
Holy snap! Holy moly! It's Urukai armor and a Gondor armor. Damn! And Ghost in the Shell. I know that one, but damn, that's the Lord of the Rings, both of them. Cool. Could you? Okay, we're walking into Weta Workshop. Holy moly.
These are the ogres.
Yeah. It's the trolls. Holy snap. After we'll check in for our tour real quick. I'm not sure.
Thing to talk about a wall! Yeah, I know. Don't worry. Yeah, the content here is absolutely off the charts. But in all seriousness, this wall was made by one of our artists. His name's Greg Broadmoor. Very talented man. He did this in the span of 3 weeks, all digitally on his computer. As much as we'd love to say we came in, painted it all ourselves, no, he was clever enough to do it on his computer instead. Now, this is actually one of New Zealand's longest murals. Not the longest, I believe the longest one is of a boat. So I do have a personal bias for our really cool wall here. It currently stands at 6 meters tall, 60 meters long, and it's supposed to be this collage of all these crazy ideas that come out of a single person's head. There's a lot of fun Easter eggs up on here if you do take a nice close look, and feel free to look at some of these characters because we refer to this wall as foreshadowing. You might see some of the characters that are up here a little later on. Now, one of my favorite Easter eggs to point out is, well, a little bit of a backstory first. Our artist, he has a son. His son's name's Leon. Leon would have been about 5, 6 years old when his dad did this very mural. And Leon knew from a very young age that he wanted to be an artist just like his dad. So he decided to get a little bit of a head start in his career by sneaking into his dad's computer, and it just so happened that this piece was on the screen all bright and colorful. So he decided that he was going to draw on it too. Now, when it's on a computer, it's quite small, but when you blow it like a bajillion times its size, something very small suddenly gets to about the size of your hand. So he actually drew his self-portrait on this very wall, and he even signed it. So while we wait for the next few minutes, I'll get you guys to jump out of the bollards, and I'm going to see if you guys can find Leon's self-portrait. I will give you a hint. It is in this middle panel somewhere. So don't go too far on that end, don't go too far on that end. But Leon's sketch is somewhere here. If you find it, feel free to point it out. That was actually really quick. It must be the glasses, just super zoom in there. But yeah, no, someone's already pointed it out. But at the bottom of the red door over here, you'll see a small little smiley face with the words Leon was here. Again, he was going to be an artist. He needed to sign his work, and so he did. And now he's one of Weta Workshop's youngest graffiti artists, and we get to talk about him every day. So that's a fun little Easter egg up there. We didn't know it was there until we obviously blew it into size and stuck it on the wall. And by then, it was kind of too late to get it off. But it was quite a pleasant surprise for a lovely artist to find his son sneaking onto his computer. Now there are a few other Easter eggs as well. You can actually see our artist self-portrait. Greg draws himself up on here. You can actually say goodbye to him if you go down the escalators, because he's actually the gentleman in the bathtub. Yeah, why he would depict himself that way, I have no clue, but I mean, to each their own. But it is looking about that time we get started, so I'll get you guys to surround yourselves around the big red doors over here. Beautiful. How you guys feeling? Are you feeling good? Great. Oh my gosh, so much enthusiasm, considering you might run for your lives. There we go. Fabulous. No, but that's the right response, a nervous chuckle. Now I'll quickly introduce myself. Hello, kia ora. My name is Deja. I'll be your induction officer for today. If you ever forget my name, deja vu. Easiest way to remember it. Now my job here is to make sure that you guys get to where you need to go and what you need to learn for your first day here at Weta Workshop Unleashed. As I'm sure you guys have read the terms and conditions in your emails, right?
No.
I really enjoyed the enthusiasm as well as the honesty. I appreciate that. But it does state at the bottom of your emails that if we are low on crew, that you guys actually become interns. So, guess what? We're short-staffed today, so you guys are actually going to be interns!
Yeah! Woo!
Unpaid labor! Yeah, so I'm going to take you guys under my wing, show you guys the ins and outs of how we make some pretty cool stuff here at Weta Workshop. Now, usually we'd enter through these doors, but unfortunately they are locked today. We've had a little bit of a creative leakage as some of our ideas have gone a little too crazy, so team's currently cleaning up in there. And only authorized personnel are allowed through this way, and considering you've only been working here for about a minute, don't think you're authorized to go through. So instead, what we're going to do is sneak you guys out the back and get you guys some ID cards ready so you have access into the building. So we're going to go through the ominous box on that side, where hopefully Rachel, there we go, that's Rachel over there, they will be taking your ID photos. Now there's a few rules when it comes to your IDs. You're allowed to take them in the groups you've arrived with, unless you want to take a photo with a stranger. But most importantly, no boring photos. Don't know if you noticed, we don't really take ourselves seriously here, so, you know, you're more than welcome to dangle your young ones from the ankles, do an epic kick, an epic punch. We have swords, so you can pose with a sword if you wish, reenact something from your favorite film. Charlie's Angels, the Titanic, if that floats your boat. Yeah, I know, poor choice of words, but once we get your photos sorted, we'll go into the storage room for stock take!
Woo!
Wow, never met people so enthusiastic about boxes before. Fantastic! I'll get you guys to jump on in. First group can go on through and everyone else can line up behind the lovely door frame over there. Beautiful. Just make a nice little line. This is probably where you want to start talking amongst yourselves. More time in the air more than anything else. Oh my goodness. It's
Here we go in.
Is this just for like a little holiday? Yeah.
Oh,
Hi.
Come on in.
Alright. Whoa.
Now.
Perfect.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, look, they have a monster.
The secret door, very big.
Thank
you,
Rachel.
My
Awesome.
God.
They're gonna need it. So, welcome to the storage room.
Yeah.
Well, get comfortable. We'll be in here for the next 90 minutes. Don't stop take. Yeah. You know, as interns, you gotta start somewhere. And, you know, most of us do start by going through a lot of the stock and actually getting familiar with the things we work with. So if you hadn't had the chance to do so, have a look at some of the labels. We got some weird stuff in here. But because it's your guys' first day on the job, I will go over some health and safety just to keep you guys safe for today. So if the floor ever starts shaking, that is not a part of the workshop. We are not in that kind of a budget, alright? That will be an earthquake. So if that were to happen, get down, low, under, protect yourselves. Now, here at Weta Workshop, we are very well known for our physical and practical effects, one of which that you will not be seeing today is pyrotechnics. So if you see a cool flame in the distance, don't take a photo with it. It's a real fire. So you'll be pulling me to the closest fire exit. Now, I'm not an actor. I actually do prosthetics for a living. But if I do fall flat on my face at any point, I am not acting. That is not a bit. I am unconscious. Please do not leave me there. I do have a walkie-talkie you have access to right behind me over here. All you need to do, press the orange button right on top, and that open mics it. All you need to do, explain where we are, what has happened, and hopefully someone will come and replace me with someone better. I also see that we have some young little interns with us. Yeah, child labor. No, in all seriousness, I do have to look after our space, so parents, caretakers, look after your young ones for me. That would be great. Also, if at any point anyone is needing to head out, either to go to the bathrooms, getting a drink of water, sick of hearing my voice, feel free to let me know. I'll contact someone to come on in, bring you out, and then bring you right back in once you're ready. And last, but certainly not least, if you want to take any notes by taking photos and videos, feel free to do so. We encourage it, just as long as nothing's live streamed, and try your best not to record in one really big long go, because that's boring. But yeah, that's about it, so get counting, yeah.
1, 2, 3.
I love how all the
Gotta love some topsy-turvy teddies.
This is cool.
Alright, so you guys are probably wondering where we are right now. As you can see, it's a vault.
Oh.
But it's not any old vault. We don't actually store money and cash in here. I found out the hard way. No, what we do store in here is films, concepts, and ideas. So we store all of our unfinished projects in these lovely shelves in the hopes that one day we continue working on a look at today. So feel free to spread on out. Make sure you can see this wall right over here. And I'm actually going to show you guys a little bit of a snippet, a little bit of a trailer of what you guys get to see today. All right.
Come back over
Everyone set? Okay, rolling. Action, Brian. Thanks, everyone.
light on the right side of the castle.
Hey Chris, just extend those mountains a little bit when you do the VFX parts.
So what we're doing today is we're shooting the studio scale test.
River scale test 1-to-1 humans, take 4. Okay.
And action.
That's good. If we shoot this right, the robot will look 3 times the size.
And action!
Alright, so those are our 3 unfinished projects that you guys will be getting your hands into today. We have our 80s inspired horror film Fauna, our dinosaur fantasy film Age of the Everplan, and our adventure sci-fi film Origins. Now the reason why we're showing you guys these particular projects rather than getting you on the big important stuff is, well, because they're unfinished, it actually allows you guys to have some creative liberties today. So feel free to get your hands into some of our stations, feel free to get a little bit creative, have some fun, and hopefully learn something new along the way. Now, before we go actually seeing those films, we do have to get the okay through our security guy, Jeff. He usually does look after a lot of our interns, so hopefully he'll help you guys out into the space today. So we'll go enter his office. All right. Yeah, feel free to jump on in, team. It does seem like Jeff is in the middle of taking a morning snooze, but that's okay. I'm sure he'll say hello to you guys in just a moment. But it does give you guys some time to have a little look around in his office. He does have some really nice things. I mean, one of the first things you would have noticed is that amazing wall over there full of collectibles that we've actually made over the years. Feel free to get close, take some photos, but wouldn't recommend touching them just because if Jeff finds fingerprints on them, he will hunt you down. Don't want to deal with that today. Now, a lot of these are made out of polystone, resin, and a stone-like mix. With our smaller ones, our mini ones are usually taking about a year and a half to make, and that's all the way through to the sketching, drafting, licensing of the characters to actually allow us to make them, all the way through to the sculpting and producing of the actual product as well as selling it. Now, one of my personal favorites is probably by far one of our big ones, this character in the middle. Some of you might recognize him from a specific series that we've worked on, but him being so huge, he did take us about 4 years to make in total. Now, because we do pride ourselves in the amount of work and effort we put into everything we do, over on this side we have our awards cabinet of very real awards we definitely did make for ourselves. So feel free to have a closer look. Yeah, if you are wondering where all the big important awards are, those are down in Wellington in our boss's office. So, you know, this is what we have, keeping it humble. There's some interesting ones up there, like a slimiest on set armpit, fewest illegible shots, just to name a few. Also, feel free to look at some of the photos along the walls, get familiar with these faces. These are our co-workers, and again, we don't take ourselves seriously, so you'll find some hilarious photos along the walls. Well, actually, one of my personal favorites to point out is there's a photo right in the corner over here. If you spot it, you can see our boss coming out of a silicone cow. Yeah, that is our boss. That is who you work for now. You're more than welcome to also take a seat on the lovely comfy chairs. And feel free to admire the decor of the room, giving that real 80s vibes from the very bright carpet to the nicotine stained ceiling. Yeah, we got two wetters come together to make the wetter face, which is quite cool. It's an insect.
Cool.
Yeah, so that was our security guy, Jeff. He is a character to say the least. But if you are still wondering about the lovely gentleman on the screen just now, that is Richard Taylor. He's our big boss man. He's actually one of the founders of Weta Workshop, founded back in 1987 with his partner Tanya Roger. Now they did start with very humble beginnings, both being in university at the time and having a small apartment, and only working with a plank of wood and margarine. They will actually use butter to sculpt, starting off doing a lot of freelancing work, a lot of advertisement, and then eventually they started kind of making a few friends. One of them being Peter Jackson. Some of you might know that name, and they started working on some of their first projects together, like Meet the Feebles, Brain Dead, and eventually going on to big blockbuster films like, Hobbit. Anything of that sort, Narnia, and a lot more others came after that. All because they started in a small apartment, we now get to make some pretty cool stuff, like the things you're going to see today. Now, it seems like they've given us the okay to go through the space, so I'm going to take us into our technicians' tunnels. We'll introduce you guys to our first film of the day, so this is where the exciting stuff starts, so we'll make our way on in.
Yeah, we said that's on the Lord of the Rings.
Alrighty, so it is a little bit loud in here, so forewarning, do make sure you hold the door for the neighbor behind you. But as you guys enter, feel free to look inside the windows of our different departments. We have many of departments for you guys to be a part of. Swordsmith, costuming, painting, engineering, hair and makeup, props, weapons, creatures department, many departments. We also have a dog department.
Hey.
We also have some fun movie posters along the walls. Feel free to check those out. And feel free to also look at the sketches along the walls, also done by Greg Broadmoor, the same guy who does the mural at the very front. Alrighty team, so welcome to our technicians tunnels. Now as you can see, all of our technicians are hard at work, but all of our co-workers are going off on their break, which means we can go in without being disturbed. Now I'm actually going to take us through our prosthetics and animatronics room, where our first film lies, called Fauna. Now Fauna is a horror film that is based in the 80s about an American family that moved to New Zealand. They move into a farm with a slaughterhouse on it, and in our slaughterhouse homes three of our main creatures. We have our glorious mother creature, unfortunate father creature, and our tyrant, which is our baby creature. So once you guys are ready, we'll slowly make our way on in. Feel free to spread on out in this first half of the room. Once we're all in, I'll explain a little bit more what's actually in here. So yeah, feel free to have a little look-sees. Apologies, it is quite dark in here. I do wish there were lights. Never mind. Alrighty team, and as the last of us are entering on in, welcome to you guys' first project for today, Fauna. Now because you guys are interns, you do have to start from the basics, and we are going to show you how we make some cool stuff. So we've actually split these three films into important aspects of filmmaking. With this film, we're going to focus on how we create our characters, and more specifically, bring them to life using animatronics and prosthetics. Now, in all fairness, this film is a huge love letter to how we originated as a company, as all of our first projects were all physical and practical effects, as we didn't have the technology to do any cool CGI stuff at the time. So, I'm going to show you guys some animatronics we have in this side, which first of all, we have our glorious mother creature. Now, as you can see, she's not quite finished being made yet, but once she is, she will look a little bit more like this figure down here, which is what we call a marquette. Now, if you'd like to learn a bit more about her design and her creation process, do feel free to look at her concept inspired by the native fauna and flora here in Aotearoa, New Zealand. But if you couldn't guess, obviously, each of these leaders do control different parts of her body. For example, this one controls the arms, some control the fingers, the wrists, the head. If you'd like to have a go, more than welcome to do so, just as long as you are gentle. But I will quickly talk about what's on this side of the room. So I'm going to quickly jump on one. This is where I wish I could teleport, but anyway. Because right in the corner over here, this is actually our baby creature suit. Now this suit is made out of latex foam. It's quite spongy. If you have a latex allergy, wouldn't recommend touching it. But this suit is made specifically for our actress right down here. It does come with a tail, a pair of hands, wings and feet, but most importantly, this headpiece in the corner. Now, much like our mother creature, it is also controlled by a smaller device right in front of it. So if you wanted to move some of those facial features, feel free to do so. Now, I'd always suggest having a good look at our research and inspiration, see what inspired us to create these characters, which also means go into some of our drawers. You can see some interesting materials in there. And then obviously in the center we have our animatronics table where you can see how we make Jeff. But besides from that, we'll spend about 5 or so minutes in this first half of the room. So take your time, have a look around. If it's at arm's reach, you're allowed to touch it just as long as you are gentle, and feel free to ask questions.
Lots of tea. There you go, you were saying. And as you guys are slowly making your way around, this right here is our poor, unfortunate father creature. Now what happens to our father creature? Our mother from our American family comes driving home one night, finds him on the side of the road, and like any normal person would in any good horror film, she puts it in her car and brings it home for the family to enjoy. Now, because this is based in the 80s, we did want to give a little bit of a reference to a very famous board game in the 80s. I'm not legally allowed to say because of copyright, so you said it, we call it autopsy. All you need to do, grab these tongue scraps inside, make it its outside. You do have to be careful though, because if you touch the edges, yeah, no, he doesn't really like it, so you're more than welcome to have a go. I will quickly talk about this lovely gentleman behind me, because this right here is Adam Savage. Most people will know him as the guy from Mythbusters. He actually plays our crazy old farmer who warned our family about the creatures and does get killed by getting slashed in the face. So this is just the process of how we make our face cast and then making our prosthetics, which actually all those white heads up there are our face cast. We make our prosthetics on that table right over there if you want to give that a little look. But if you want to see the prosthetic applied onto Adam's face, you can have a little look behind this table over here. But if none of these are a thing, that is A-okay. We do have our makeup desks where our ghosts do your makeup for you. Take a seat, press the button, it should do its thing. Or you're more welcome to go at our creature scream machines, make your own creature noise. And I will also say we do have our blood making station on that side where you can see our fake blood recipe. Highly recommend taking a photo of it. It's
Lead.
What I really mean is I know how to sketch and draft up a character
Oh, wow.
and sketch out a
It's all the blood.
aesthetic that feeling
Well, that's great.
Oh, that's cool. This thing is sick. Catch it.
She said she don't like it.
It's hard to see. There we go. Oi. Oh.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Oh, more, he said.
Oh. What the? Nice.
Alrighty, team. So I'm going to finish up whatever you may be doing. Take your last second photos, and I'm going to need you guys to slowly make your way on over to this side of the room. Yeah, so feel free to gather our baby creatures. So behind me over here, this is the slaughterhouse for this film, Lamb Chops, although she finds our baby creature. So, if you wish, you are more than welcome to experience that part of the film yourself, although we do have a secret shortcut that you can go straight past, skipping this entire thing, so this thing is optional. But before you go making your choices, I'll lay down a few rules just so you know what you're getting yourselves into. So if you have any sort of medical conditions affected by bright lights, loud noises, claustrophobic, allergic to latex, vegan or vegetarian, it's a slaughterhouse. I don't know what to tell you. Also, this is the one time when we will say no phones or photos, just because the floor is a bit wonky, and if you do drop your phone and it falls into the cracks of the floorboards, it is gone. We will not be able to recover it. Also, you will need both your hands to hold on to the railing just to get you a little bit more stable in there. That's also with your belongings. Be careful with your belongings as well. But yeah, that's essentially all the rules. So once you guys are ready, feel free to start making your choices.
Okay.
if it's any reassurance, we don't have
Beautiful landscapes. And we got beautiful, beautiful guinea pigs.
Hey,
Yeah.
guinea pigs.
Guinea pigs.
Oh, someone's
Wow.
No, you can sit down. Cool, alrighty team. So it looks like everyone is back from our slaughterhouse. So hopefully you had some fun in there. Hopefully you still have your fingers, limbs and toes still intact. And don't worry if there is anyone missing. We do write eulogies, it's fine. But as you can see, we are now in our second film for today, our fantasy film. I'll talk a bit about the plot of the film before getting into what we're going to be learning in here. So this film is called Age of the Everclan. It's about dinosaurs, specifically in an alternate timeline where dinosaurs didn't go extinct. What a scenario of what if they continued living and growing, developing, becoming a little bit more humanoid. It just so happens that they know our respected languages, so that makes it really convenient for us. But they do split into two different groups. So over here we have our good guys, our herbivores, the Everclan. You know, they're really into horticulture, architecture, and magic. So they're your wizards, mages, rangers, and druids. Now, obviously, you can't have a good side without a bad side. You gotta have some conflict. So over here we have our Death Clan, and with a name like that, you are going to be the bad guys. Now, they are our carnivores, tear into flesh, barbarians, fighters, and rogues. I personally think they're misunderstood. That's just me though. And these two clans are in a huge war, and that is what this film is all about. So with our horror section, you saw how we make our characters. Now what we're going to do is kind of see how we create the setting for our characters to inhabit. So we're going to do a little bit of world building. So seeing how we create their armor, their weapons, their costuming, but more importantly, the environment, architectural development for this film. Now you're more than welcome to say hello to Scott over there. Hi Scott! Actually, he is a perfect depiction of what most of us down in Wellington look like, so take a mental image of that. But Scott is currently working on the beautiful landscape for this film, and feel free to have a look at the storyboards. You can actually see all the references that we use to inspire us to create all of the kind of world build aspects of this film. But I'll give you guys a couple of minutes in here to slow down those heartbeats, that adrenaline. You're more than welcome to take some lovely photos out underneath the lovely scenery, and because there is a lot of us, you're more than welcome to move behind the whiteboard. We do play around with scaling. Even if you just look up, there's always going to be something to look at. We have all these cool little aircrafts.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, those are made out of recycled materials as well. So you'll like see shot glasses, a few bottles of milk and stuff like that. Bottle caps. Yeah. I will say there are a few of these balloons that are real. And we're getting into specific these ones here. So the artist who makes them, Sonia, absolutely love her stuff. She actually volunteers on small farms, and she actually gets a lot of small deceased animals just to help them clear out the farmlands a little bit. So like things like mice, birds, anything she can get her hands on. And she'll feed them to her pet bugs. They'll eat everything and then leave this beautiful bones for her to clean, sanitize, and glue them. Yeah, so they're real. Oh! Yeah, no, they're going to kind of make it look like little tiny bone dragons. Dragon skeletons, rather. I will also talk a little bit about this little gentleman over here. I will say when you do step in this room, technically we do shrink down to size onto our artist desk. As you can see, Scott has suddenly grown a lot more bigger in here. Scott over here is actually 8 times bigger than the normal human size, and because of that, he is hand sculpted. So we sculpted all of his facial details, wrinkles, paws, fingerprints. We also had to insert the hairs individually into the face and hand to kind of put the hairs in. It takes us about
24 hours to do an entire eyebrow. So imagine, you know, you come home from work and your loved ones are like, oh, what did you do today? And you're like, I made an eyebrow. Yeah, that's essentially what happened here. Obviously, besides from their height, the other differences between our two artists is the fact that his eye is now wide open, and that's because we wanted to show some cool 3D printing skills. So we actually 3D print our eyes. We'll print them into individual pieces, eyeball, iris, etc. We'll put them together, paint them, and then gloss them over with resin to give that watery eye look. Now the reason why we make them this way is actually because of a 17-year-old intern named Tor. Now at the time she was in university, she had a big obsession with eyeballs, and she made it her lifelong goal to make realistic looking eyes, which she succeeded quite easily using 3D printing technology. Now, luckily enough for her, Richard, our boss, he loves to go to universities to kind of see the upcoming artists of tomorrow, and it just so happens that he was visiting her university, and she kind of challenged him, being like, you do not make realistic looking eyeballs. And he's like, okay, let me see what you have. She showed him her project, and she got hired on the spot, which is quite cool. And she's been with us ever since. Now we get cool 3D printing eyeballs, so it's so awesome. Fabulous. Now I know this space is very small, so do not worry, we're not going to linger in here for too long, so do feel free to take any sort of last minute photos you're wanting to take inside of our shed or in here, because what we're going to do, we're now standing on our artist desk, we're going to take a closer look at that lovely landscape that Scott's been working on in this next area. Now there are a few rules in the next room. That's just please do not touch, climb, sit or lean on anything. Don't want to ruin any of the lovely scenery in this next area. But take your time, take your photos. Once you guys are ready, feel free to head on through.
Oh my gosh. The next one. Yeah.
And as the rest of us are slowly making our way on in, welcome to the diorama for Age of the Everclan. Now I am going to talk about this piece for a little bit, but if you are feeling a little bit restless and want to get your hands into some stuff, you're more than welcome to walk into our next room. But if you want to learn a little bit more about our castle, I'll talk a little bit about it now. So this is the depiction of our two clans at war. The war is so huge, it forces our good guys to destroy the one bridge that used to unite the two together, now leaving them stranded in their respected areas. Now, the diorama is a 1/28 scale, which essentially means if you guys are the right height compared to this lovely landscape, you should be about the size of your middle finger. Now, I'm not going to flip you off, but if you were to measure your middle finger, that is how tall you should be standing roughly. Now the castle is actually 3D printed into over 60 different pieces. The only things that are 3D printed is the castle, the tree trunks, which we have about 35 trees, as well as the bridges on either side. Everything else has actually been made by hand, from our lovely landscapes at the back to our deckland huts in the front, and we actually use a lot of our own natural resources to make the huts from our local beaches, parks and gardens. Really does go to show you can make some pretty cool stuff with a limited amount of materials. Also, you're currently standing on the water that separates our two clans from each other, which is made out of resin. Much like the resin puddles you will find everywhere within the diorama. And some of the greenery you would be looking at is a material called flocking. Now, flocking is a very fine material, and we do get ours professionally, but you can actually make your very own at home by grabbing a kitchen sponge, funnily enough. Not your gross one that you've used on many dishes, but if you get a nice clean kitchen sponge, put it through a cheese grater, and you'll have something that looks quite similar to the kind of moss-like materials and bush-like materials we have here. Now it does go through a day-night cycle. Best time to take your photos is the daytime, unless you like some cool mood lighting like this. And yes, there's a tunnel. It does fit both adult and child. We've had the All Blacks and they're all able to fit. You're gonna be a-okay. There are some artificial glowworms in there for you to check out, but there is also a sleeping dragon under there. So feel free to go on in, have a little look. But once you guys are ready and finished admiring our lovely castle, feel free to slowly make your way on into our next room.
That sounds like
That was it. I was just thinking the same thing.
Don't worry, when you do enter this room, you are more than welcome to go back to the castle. If you wish, but for those who are slowly making their way on in, this is actually our world build section. Now this is actually your guys' chance to get your hands into some of our
I should see
stations,
this part.
such as sculpting, tinfoil, clay, we have tracing paper, we have armor, we have weapons, we have our core forge on the east side over there, we have a whiteboard you can draw on. But one of the more impressive things, and one of my favorite things, in this space, if it wasn't obvious, is the very cool throne that I'm currently sitting on. Yeah, quite hard to beat this throne right here. Obviously, you're more than welcome to sit and take photos on it. One of my favorite facts about this piece is that it's sculpted out of 80% tinfoil. We do use a special powder on top to preserve it, so it is perfectly safe to use and sit on. But we'll use this method for things like theme parks. Now, if you're wanting to, you're more than welcome to take some photos on our throne. We do have our own camera setup, which is just above the throne over here. And if you want to use our camera, you can by using your ID badge. So if you take your ID badge out, all you need to do is scan that under the red cross that's underneath the little black box here. Once you scan it, it glows green, and then you roughly have about 3 seconds. I'm not very creative when it comes to posing, but I'm sure you can come up with something better. You know, stab and behead your young ones. That's always fun. But we will spend about 10, 15 or so minutes in here, so do feel free to go around, get your hands into some of our stations,
Babe,
take some photos on our
is the card on this picture?
We have 5 minutes left
Yeah,
to explore here.
Okay.
It is quite hefty, so if you could go under the
Okay.
oh, sick.
Got it. Can I try one too? Wait.
Weather enduring kind of material.
Yeah, and I thought it was just weird.
It's actually good.
Oh, it's actually clear.
It's actually clear.
Wow. That's cool. These are all clay.
So he likes a lot of our chain mail, but he does make like cardboard armor, which looks really good, especially because he's a cosplayer, so he makes a lot of cosplays. Which is
Oh, shucks. This chain mail. Wow. Wow. There's some staple here. Oh, yeah. That's really. Yeah.
And ready for set and film. So behind me we actually have the set for our sci-fi film, and as you can see we do have the green light to go on in. So once we're all ready, we'll slowly start making our way on in. Feel free to have a little look around, team. You're more than welcome to take a step on set. Just as long as you don't sit or climb on the set, ideally. Don't want any of you guys accidentally breaking your ankles or anything like that.
Wow, that's so cool.
Alrighty team, so welcome to our final film of today. This film is called Origins. Now Origins is about a scientist and an adventurer. Now they team up together, traveling across the globe finding hieroglyphics from another planet. And it actually leads them to a volcano. On the volcano homes our robot and our spaceship over here, and no one knows how they got there. All we know is that there's someone or something with a message for mankind and a map to the universe. So on these tables here, I'll talk a bit about what's on there. This figure over here is actually the alien that controls our robot. Now this alien is modeled after a Weta if it were humanoid, so you know, he's kind of freaky looking. He's awesome. If you don't know what a Weta looks like, they're essentially these insects in these little pictures over here. Now throughout this whole set, you will actually see these tiny pink people on our miniature sets. That is how big we want to look in comparison to our robot, because we need our robot to look so huge because our robot is 15 meters tall. Now for anyone who's good at math, obviously that robot is not 15 meters tall, it is only 5 meters tall. And I'll talk about her just a little bit because she is only a third of her scale. She needs to look 3 times bigger than she does right here. So how we accomplish that is by using camera angles. So we'll take our cameras nice and down low, looking upwards towards the robot, giving her the illusion of height. And then doing the opposite with our actors, our cameras up high, looking down low on our actors, making them look 3 times smaller. So if you guys were the right height, compared to our lovely robot here, you actually should be roughly knee height. So that is how tall you should be standing. And if you wanted to, completely optional, don't have to do it, but actually sitting in front of our robot is about the perfect height to be, yeah, you got the right idea over there, taking photos nice and low. So what we're gonna do is we're actually going to get this set ready and going, and we're going to check if everything is good to go and ready to film. So feel free to sit or stand amongst the stars. That's probably the best place to be. Oh yeah, stars suddenly appearing out of nowhere. Now usually this is where the director's like, alright, lights, camera, action. Unfortunately, we don't have a director today. Instead, you got my commentary to tell you what happens during this scene. So our actors, while interacting with our robot, first discover our robot. They actually investigate a little bit and find out there's a piece of our robot missing. So they find this golden piece, places it perfectly in the missing spot, and activates our robot looking like this. Face opens up, revealing its true form. She starts pointing upwards towards our spaceship where our alien homes. Now showing us the map of the universe, and sooner her message for mankind. Whatever our origins, our quest to know ourselves makes us human, which is actually one of the last lines said in this very film. But that is what it usually looked like on set with all those pieces ready to go. And this is always the most satisfying part of filmmaking, is getting to see all your hard work ready for the camera. Now, it is almost time for you guys to finish up your internship for today. So well done so far. I do believe our co-workers want to come back from their break to congratulate you guys on finishing your first day here. So feel free to watch as they try to convince you guys to join their departments. it seems like everyone is coming back from their break, which does unfortunately mean it is the end of your guys' internship here today with us. But it does mean you are now fully fledged artists for Weta Workshop Unleashed. So give yourself a round of applause. Let's give that last one, so congrats. But I do hope you enjoyed your time here at Weta Workshop Unleashed. I hope you feel a bit more inspired, a bit more creative, whether that's learning something about our animatronics and prosthetics, or just learning how to make something entirely your own. Now, a few things I'd like to add before we head out into the real world to unleash your own creative lunacies upon the world. First of all, if you enjoyed your induction, feel free to let us know by giving us a review. We absolutely love hearing back from you guys, especially if that means improving our space. Also, if you've parked with Sky City, we do validate your parking for you, so you do get crew discounts on your parking today team. So feel free to talk to the people at the front desk. And last but certainly not least, if you still hold on to your ID badges, I'll recommend you start taking them out, because we're actually going to check out your ID photos. So follow me as we go check out your silly little schmancy photos.
It looks good, but you don't want to do it. I can tell you that.
Yeah, maybe it's weird.
Yeah, you're gonna play.
You want to play? No. Yes. I'm hungry.
So find somewhere with some
White note, oh God, mate, all wood. I recommend painting grey. Getting, not mixing a grey, getting solid grey. I think
like neutralize the
yeah, you want to put the grey over first. You want to put like a decent grey.
Yeah, so you know.
Oh, then you come with me. Let's search for your factory.
I'll be very quick and quiet.
Oh,
background is yellow, like gray.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, let's go this way.
It's alright. It's not perfect. In my head, like, it should be weird. I put a lot of effort into it. I cannot possibly.
Yeah, no, you could not let it. I'll do it. I do it.
Yeah, I think
Gotta give it up already.
all I saw was that in order to neutralize that black and then just repaint that yellow over top.
No, it's don't
Yeah,
touch my
there's
eyes,
no-
otherwise I will break.
You fools.
It's okay. It'll may take a few layers, but I'll get it really get all back
No,
painted.
I think
Jolly good.
if I was this one, then
Alright, hang on. I'll leave you to. So you say use a grade first?
Yeah, if you, because the thing with words are, because if the word becomes small, it's just.
I mean, I could just leave it like this, but I'm just like, you know what? It's only the bottom, but the top one later. So it's just this. I could
It
leave
might be,
it.
you know, it might be worth it. It might be worth doing it all over yellow. If I was you, I would go over brown. Because yellow is over brown.
Alright, so this is in a brown.
Yeah, a little too dark. Then that's brownie.
I have
Like this
a.
is brown.
I do have this brown in the back.
I would go over brown. What I would do is once it's yellow, if you're annoyed, instead of cutting out the letters individually and trying to glue them on, do it the other way. Get a thick cardstock, print it on, cut them out as a stencil, and then just get a roller and just whatever, yeah, just stipple the paint on.
Kiwi fall down.
You end
That'll take
up,
a lot of patience, but I probably could.
and it'll probably look a lot nicer. How much time do you have?
Well, I'm not leaving until the 8th of August.
Oh, you got plenty of time. Go on.
Yeah.
That's the best option for looking really
So I'm
nice.
gonna leave this bit here. That's
Yeah.
It's over there.
Yeah.
I do the stencil thing. So you go to make a stencil. Yeah. Try to write all of this out on the stencil.
If you have a float, I don't know if you know any of the floater things to do that.
I don't know what that is.
It's a thing that
Now this is a lot.
I think Marcus has a cricket.
I think that might be a floater.
Yeah. It's a blade and a cuts. Vinyl.
Yeah, yeah, that is what I mean. If you have one of those, ask Marcus. He can make it.
I never heard of that.
Yeah.
I've never used it.
Surprise!
I've never used a cricket before. I don't know how to work.
He will have one. I think he just gonna say, let's
Or
just
you
use
can
word
do
file.
this one.
He's gonna make a word file, make sure it's the right size.
It's more over here.
And then
Later do
when
this
that
skeleton.
Alex is there.
Yeah,
You can do
that's
this.
exactly what I mean.
I feel like
How much is this?
what is this old person's music? It would look like a 20 years old and 70 years. No.
$50. What? $49.
Yeah.
My friend does want both, but I'm not buying them until a little bit closer to my husband. I'm getting my list together of what people want.
It's not smart. I'm going to a wedding tomorrow.
Congratulations. This is it.
This is my roommate.
Congratulations.
Yay, Mary.
Huh?
She's good.